Welcome back to the Vanguardian TV. I'm your host, Sonny C. I'm telling you folks, it's getting real out here now. The pandemic is really taking a toll on individuals, families, interrupting lives, disrupting lives. The evictions across the country are starting to hit. Landlords are starting to evict their residents. Uh, it's a sad thing, very sad. But this is the reality of a pandemic and an economy that's been in the tank for the last several months. Meanwhile, President Trump is telling people to vote twice. That's leadership. Vote twice. Vote twice. That's what he said. So he's still up to his same old tactics and dividing the country up. He's trying to put fear in everybody, to white Americans. He's trying to put fear, saying Joe Biden is the president that's going to, if he gets in office, the country's going to run amok. It's going to take over. The criminals, the Antivas, the Black Lives Matter is going to run amok on your country and come in your suburban homes and take it over and throw you out, and tie you up and bound you. Take you hostage. Oh man. So leadership matters. Meanwhile, I see that Steve Nash got the Brooklyn Nets coaching job, 4-year contract. Makes sense. He's worked with Kevin Durant. He's worked with Steph Curry. He was a consultant or some type of special consultant with Golden State for a time being. I know he doesn't have any coaching experience. That's another conversation for another day. However, he has been signed on with the Brooklyn Nets, and obviously KD is there and Kyrie Irving, and should be interesting. But he's a good dude. But it just goes to show you the privilege continues. But, it is what it is. So, that's one item. Kirk Cousins says, if I die, then I die. Regarding the COVID-19, he was asked the questions about the coronavirus. He went into a lot of different reasons why he's not saying he wears a mask. He's not telling you not to wear a mask. But basically, I'm paraphrasing, I guess he's saying that, if it affects me, the virus got to take its course, and if I pass away from it, then I pass away from it. I mean, he's relying on his faith. Nothing wrong with that. But a lot of people are upset with those comments, saying that it was irresponsible of him. I don't know. I just think a lot of people they see a headline, they automatically got their mind made up. And a lot of them saying that he's pretty dumb. I don't agree with that, but Kirk Cousins is who Kirk Cousins is. You like that? Meanwhile, in other things, Charlamagne the God spoke on the Joe Budden podcast situation as far as the platform. As you know, Joe Budden is leaving Spotify. They're going their separate ways, and Joe Budden is shopping his podcast to other platforms. I think right now he's just going to use YouTube exclusively for the time being until he strikes a deal with a more lucrative deal with someone. Joe Budden owns that podcast, and Charlamagne the God was saying that Joe Budden continues to have bad business with his partners, and he blames his partners for his bad business as far as contract negotiations and stuff like that. Joe Budden clapped back and said that, Charlamagne, I don't mean no harm, but we're not on the same level as far as what you're asking me to do, as far as what you're doing. You're on the radio. You don't own your radio show. You bring a lot of viewers to your show, along with DJ Envy and Angela Yee, and you did a great job. You was #1 for 10 years, the #1 morning show for 10 years. But at the same time, they can fire you. And he's right about that. You can get fired if you don't own your own. I mean, I remember Dame Dash came on that show and he got criticized for telling people, look, you need to get your own. Go out here and stop working for everybody else because you can get fired. You need to go and get your own deals, your own platforms, your own radio station, and create your own lane. That way you control your own destiny. I applaud him for that. I thought he was spot on, but a lot of people didn't agree. I understand it. It's a daunting task to go out there and try to start something, create something on your own and shop it around, and you're putting all your money into it. See, I believe if you put all your money into it, just like Dame said, if you put your own money up for your own destiny and your own future, as far as a podcast or any other business, then you're going to work that much harder to see it through, to see it successful. So you have to take a risk. No risk, no reward. And Joe Budden kind of explained that as far as in regards to Charlamagne's statement. Joe Budden said that we're talking something totally different. It's apples and oranges. You can say those things, but at the same time, I'm fighting for creators and people who own their podcast, who has a little bit more invested. It's safe to say certain things when you're getting paid by a conglomerate. But how much is that conglomerate making money off of you compared to what you're getting paid by them? So if you're number one for 10 years and you're getting paid a locked-in fee that you negotiated, then it is what it is. I'm looking at from the point of view Joe Budden is that this is my show. I created it, my podcast. Spotify is putting deals in the contract that obviously we're never going to reach. But he is the number one podcast on the internet. So he's saying that he, want a little bit more to bring to the table as far as Spotify. So Joe Budden is looking for a deal. His show is very successful. I like his show. I think they do a great job over there. Joe Budden, Maul, and Roy, and Parks. But, that's their rebuttal. It was Joe's rebuttal. He's saying we're not on that same level as opposed to what you're doing on a radio station, and as opposed to what I created and grew as far as my content. So I agree with Joe on that one. So anyway, I won't keep you too long. I know we have what's going on in the NFL. Oh, Dwayne Haskins was named starting quarterback for the Washington football team. So the young man, shout out to him for working hard, getting in tip-top shape, showing leadership skills, and Ron Rivera named him the starter for week 1. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, I got to get back to you on this Washington football team scandal with Dan Snyder. It's getting deep. So stay tuned for that. Have a great Thursday, and we will talk to you tomorrow.